Yes, yes, yes. Hey, everybody, Charles here, and welcome to another great show. Welcome to the Charles Matthews Morning Show, and I got a great guest for you. Well, I'm kind of biased. He's a great friend. I've known him from a long time, but he does great work, and I'm so happy that he could join me on the show. We've known each other for a long time, but, besides that, you're going to get knowledge today. You're going to find out how to make your life much better. So, without further ado, let's not waste no time. Dave, where you at, my friend?
Hello.
How you doing,
I'm glad I finally am on here with you, man. I've known you for, I don't know, donkey years.
I know. But listen, you've been busy doing great things out there, helping the community,
Thank you.
and you want to get things out. And I got this show, and I'm like, listen, let's get together, let's push out this platform, and let's show everybody what you can do to help them out. Because in these times, people got to really start thinking, especially our generation. Let's forget about everybody else. Let's think about our generation, people that we went to high school with and stuff like that. Yeah, everybody needs to step up. So before we get into that, let's get back and do some backtrack. Born and raised, where are you from?
I'm actually born and raised in Brampton. My parents are originally from Grenada. So they migrated from Grenada and they moved to Toronto, and they found this wilderness place called Brampton, and born and raised in Brampton. We're probably I don't know, when did you move to Brampton?
Man, I think we've been here for donkey years as well, because I remember from like around 6 years old. That's all I can remember around that age. So
I wanted to say we were probably the pioneers of Black people in Brampton, right?
yeah, because our parents keep telling us about what used to be there, farmland used to be there, all that other stuff. So we probably were. Probably were. So growing up in high school and college, what did you study? What did you want to do?
Just to backtrack, when I was growing up, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but what really sparked my interest. Are you familiar with that movie Trading Places with Eddie Murphy?
Yes, yes.
That was the movie. That was the movie that really sparked my interest. I saw this young Black man, and he was doing this thing with money and trading, and I was like, What is this?" So I started to do a lot more research, and found a passion in the investment world, financial world. Now, there was some bumps in the road getting here because I'm sure, like everybody else, they think they want to do this, and they're like, "Oh, I think I want to be a rapper, or I want to be a singer, or I want to do this." But I'm glad I had the guidance of my father to kind of keep me on that path, right? Because originally, as soon as he saw that interest with the trading places, I started asking more questions. He started feeding me knowledge. He's like, "Oh, look at this book, and look at this book, and look at this book." And he started feeding me with more knowledge, and kind of kept me on that path. There were times where I kind of went this way and I went that way, but that father figure is so important because he kept kind of, "No, this is what you should be doing. This is what you want to do," and I just continued with it.
Nice. So when did you get the first little taste, like the first money making taste, and you just went, "All right, yes, I'm done. This is it."
Um, it wasn't until I was in, I would say mid-20s, when I actually started to trade online. Um, uh, I started to trade online, and I kind of tried to figure it out and figure out, okay, how does this work? Found a couple little stocks that I invested in. Didn't make that much money. I think one of my bigger, I think it was BlackBerry. I made like 2 grand, and I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy! $2,000 on BlackBerry," and that's kind of what fed me and brought me to where I am now.
Yeah, and to all the young generations, well, it's not blackberries that you eat, okay? It's not a fruit. Go research it. Then you'll
Yeah,
understand
research it.
what BlackBerry was, okay? In our generation, BlackBerry was the lick. If you didn't have a BlackBerries,
BlackBerry was the equivalent to iPhone.
there you go. That's so bad that we have to explain that. You know what I mean? But here,
That movie, the movie's coming out today, I think. The BlackBerry movie, actually.
yes, I know. So it's a good tie-in. Go watch it. There you
Go
go.
watch it, yeah.
All right, and then give the royalties to this man right here. He's helping you out right there.
I would love it.
So you're helping people out now. You
Mhm.
got in the bug, you made them money. What is, talk about how you help with your services and what you're doing.
Okay, so my primary focus is to first find families and businesses that need my help. We're kind of like in this industry, we're kind of like doctors, where we kind of want to figure out, okay, where does it hurt the most? Where's your pain with the most? So my main focus is to build your assets. I want to protect them and prepare to transfer them to the next generation. Right. So build up your assets wherever you are. Okay, how can we figure out a way to build your assets and want to protect them? When I say protect them from creditors, protect them from death. So if you were to pass away, we want to make sure those assets are protected, and then put you in a position where you can transfer those assets to the next generation, whether it be your kids' kids, whatever. We want to make sure that that wealth stays within your family.
All right, let's backtrack.
Mhm.
Explain generational wealth.
Generational wealth, wealth that can be transferred from. I don't want to use generation in that, but wealth that can be transferred from. Uh, uh, I want to say generation again, but wealth that can be transferred from family to family to family, and so on and so forth. So your kids' kids, and so on and so forth.
And that's a stable foundation that every family should strive for. So when, God willing, when I do, it's my time and I leave this earth, did I leave enough nest egg, if you want to call it?
Mhm.
Everybody says nest egg. If
That's
you
it.
want to leave enough nest egg for my kids to start their life, to have
Mhm.
something where they can start their life and bring kids in the world and have a beautiful wife and husband that will be strong enough that they can start, get a little apartment, get a house, get something. You don't want to
Yeah.
leave your kids starting from bone scratch.
Yeah,
So,
and sorry,
no,
and I also want to say this. I find with a lot of from my experience, Caribbean
right.
culture, for whatever reason, we have this notion that okay, I got here on my own. I got here and I struggled. They should struggle too. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be any struggle, but let's kind of make it a little easier. No, I'm sure you've heard that, right, Charles?
Yeah, because I'm laughing because it's like at the end of the day, they're like, "Well, you don't know what I went through. I had to walk to school, and how many
Mhm.
hours." I'm like, "Okay, I see your struggle, but guess what? My struggle is taking the bus. Okay, I gotta
It's
wait.
exactly it.
I gotta wait there at the bus stop. It takes about 4 hours sometimes. I miss the bus. It's crammed. There's no seats. People are smelling on the bus. That's my struggle. Your struggle
Mhm.
was the walk. My struggle is the bus." And
Mhm.
then the next generation struggle might be the traffic, and the next generation, like it's the gas. Like each generation has a struggle, but that doesn't mean, like you said, we should have to make them struggle. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
I believe in controlled transferring of wealth. So when
Hmm.
I say controlled, the best way to control it is within some sort of trust structure. And when I say trust, a trust basically allows the person, the trustee, to have full control over that monies that's being transferred over.
I
So
agree. Yes, I agree
have
with
some
you.
sort of rules in there. Say, okay, well, at age 21, if you haven't started or finished your post-secondary, you're not going to get this money. So
Mm,
you need to finish X amount of school before you get this money. Now
right.
you got to come up with a business plan
Hmm.
for this money, or what are you going to do with this money? So I wouldn't suggest just giving people money because you know how that goes. You give people money, they're going to blow it.
Oh,
Um,
you mean you like this new watch? Oh, like this car? Oh, don't worry about the car. Hey, let's go out for dinner. Like you've been
yeah,
out for dinner for 3 days straight. Oh, don't worry about it. No.
yeah. Money has less value when you haven't worked for it, right?
Right.
It has less meaning. You're just like, okay, well, I didn't work for this, so
So let's
it's
get into the, oh, I don't know anything about stocks. I don't know about investing. Stocks are so hard. I don't
mhm,
understand it. Why should I get into it? Stocks go up and down, blah, blah,
mhm.
blah. When people are scared and nervous and talking about this, how can you ease their mind?
It depends. So my strategy is more for the long-term strategy. So the ups and downs of the markets are not so much my concern. I want to make sure that I put together a plan. Okay, what do you want to do with this money? Same thing I do with insurance. Some people say, I need insurance. Like, okay, what do you want your insurance to do for you? And
Mm,
that just opens up a lot in their brain. Like, okay, what do I really want this insurance for? That's a good point.
No,
Uh,
sorry
mm,
to jump in here, but there's
mm,
a word you just said. I've
mm.
never heard someone say it before. I'll
Right.
be honest with you. What do you want your insurance to do for you? I've never heard someone say, "What do you want your insurance to do for you?" I've always heard people say, "You need insurance
Mhm.
for blah, 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 blah. You should have insurance for safety, blah, blah, blah. You should have insurance for this." But this is the first time I've actually heard you say, "What do you want your insurance to do for you?"
Yeah, and it's huge because there's term and there's permanent insurance. So we have term, which is for a specific term, which is 10, 20, 30 years, or there's permanent insurance, which could last a lifetime, right? But if you're just thinking, okay, well, I kind of just need this insurance to cover my debt, which could be my house, whatever other debt I have. I just need this insurance to cover my debt so that when I pass away, my son, my daughter won't have to worry about that. And that's all I care about. Okay, let's go for term insurance for you. We don't need permanent insurance. But now, if you want to create a legacy, and you want, okay, well, yeah, I want to pay off these bills, but I also want a little something else to create more generational wealth. You may want to look more towards the permanent insurance side, which is for your lifetime. And there's a lot of different features inside a permanent policy where you can invest inside that policy so you can have money grow tax sheltered, similar to what an RSP would do. But there's a lot more advantages of putting your money inside an insurance policy versus an RSP.
All right. I don't have all that money. Insurance are too expensive.
Mm,
Where am I going to get this insurance? I have all these bills to pay and that to
mhm.
pay. What do you say?
My first thing is I sit down with them and I do um, basically cash flow planning. I want to make sure that you have enough money to make sure that policy stays in place. Now, generally speaking, if you have a term policy, it's usually not too expensive, depending on your age, your health, things of that nature. So if you're in a situation where money's tight, you're not too sure what you want to do, and you just need some sort of insurance, I would lean more towards term insurance, right? Get some sort of term insurance, get something in place. And if something were to happen, you're covered. And the
Mhm.
good thing about most term insurance policies is it's convertible, meaning you can convert that to a permanent policy as time goes on. So your term insurance can turn into permanent insurance.
Love it. Love it. All right. How do you search for what insurance is good for you? What do you search for? Like, do I need, well, I have two kids, but I have this
Mhm.
house. Okay, but want to go back to college and oh wait, I just got a car. Like, how do you pick and choose when you go into the grocery store of insurances?
Mhm. Well, the first thing is you want to pick and choose a good advisor. Right? I like when people do their research online, but it's always good to find a good advisor. So first thing I would say, look for a good advisor, someone that you can trust, someone that is somewhat seasoned, and they kind of have a human element to them. They're not pushy on that sale because I'm sure you've met someone that's pushy on the sale, like, "Oh, you need this insurance, Charles.
Mhm.
Let's go." No, 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 no. Let them sit down with you, look at where
Mhm.
you're at in your life, where your finances at. How much can you afford, and then we can kind of tailor make what company is best for you. The good thing about me and some other brokers is we have access to so many different companies,
Okay.
over 24 different companies, that we can kind of do a comparison. Okay, this company is going to provide you with, um, I don't know, an extra term rider, but this one only has convertible, or sorry, does not have convertible term insurance, or this one has a critical illness rider, or this one. So a lot of different features. So once I do a needs analysis with that client, and I go through, okay, this is where they're at. That's when I start searching for a particular company that would best suit their need.
All right. Well, it's time to have some fun, like you said. Let's get to
Mhm,
know you a little bit more.
mhm,
It's now time for rapid fire. We're going to throw some questions at you just to get to know you a little bit more better and get to know who you are, what you do, and just your
mhm,
personality. Because, like you said, we just want to get to know the person a little bit better. So, the
mhm.
thing about it is, you got 2 minutes on the clock.
Okay.
You can elaborate, but remember, try to get through. those questions in those 2 minutes. But
Okay.
here's the thing: you get to choose your questions: A, B, C, or D. Which ones would you like?
A.
A. All right. 2 minutes starts on the clock when I answer the first question. What is your favorite drink?
Orange juice
When are you most productive?
in the mornings.
Yeah. What inspires you and why?
Good question. Oh, what inspires me? Life. That was a bad one.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
What is something happening right now in your life that you're so excited about?
Traveling.
What's your favorite number and why?
Seven. Seven. Lucky seven. Seven's lucky.
There you go. Favorite cake flavor?
Vanilla.
How do you start your day?
Wake up, go to the gym.
What was their worst subject in school?
My worst subject in school. I loved history, but that's probably my worst subject.
All right. What was your best subject in school?
Gym.
Favorite food?
Favorite food, macaroni pie.
And I guess one of your movies you told us about. Favorite movie besides Trading Places?
It's Love Jones.
Love Jones. All right. With 10 seconds left. You made it through rapid fire. All right. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to dive into his website and find out how he can help you get to that next level. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. CMJ Entertainment is a one-stop shop. CMJ Entertainment helps people do any type of events, and it's a marketing tool as well. So we'll cover everything from start to finish. If it's a wedding, we'll make sure your wedding is over the top. And if it's an event, we make sure that everybody gets information at the end of the day. Give us a call at 416-414-8964 or online, go to cmjent.com. Yes. We're back live. And we've been talking to my friend, and we're just talking about, hey, generational wealth, how we can help you get to that next limit. So tell us, when did you start your company, your business? When did you start?
So I started officially in 2013. We'll say 2013. I've been in the industry, the financial industry, for over 20 years, so since
Okay.
'99. But to go out on my own officially, 2013. I got licensed as far as the plaques on the back uh, throughout my career. So 99 till 2009, and then 2009 I got more into life insurance, and then 2013 is when I actually left my full-time job.
And that's when you became Mr. Alexander.
Mr. Alexander, exactly.
Because when you have your own company and your own boss, you're Mr. now, right?
Exactly.
All right, Mr. So let's find out how you're going to help others get to that next level. So talk about the process. Like you said, find out what you want. What's the best customers for you? Like when they come prepared. Because here's a funny thing. I always tell everybody who always comes to you and says, okay, I need insurance.
Mhm,
Okay. What do you do? How do you do? What do you have? Financials, this, that, like they
mhm.
tell us, what do we need before we come knocking on your door?
First thing with my process, first thing I do is find out your goals. Very first thing, we sit down, find out your goals, what you want to do. Once I find out what your goals are, kind of put that to the side. We'll do an insurance needs analysis, figure out what your needs are. So, an insurance needs analysis consists of finding out, okay, what are your funeral expenses? How much money do you make? How many dependents do you have? How much debt do you have? What's your mortgage looking like? Uh, do you want to save for your child's education? Is that necessary? Some people don't believe in that. So we take all this information, all these numbers, we put it into a calculator, and it spits out this number. And this number is where we start when it comes to insurance planning. That's where we know. Okay, so whether it's 300,000 or a million, whatever, that's the starting point. And then from there, that's when we kind of look for different companies to suit your need. That's more on the insurance side. On the investment side, we get a little deeper because now we're going to do a cash flow analysis, figure out what your cash flows like. Then we're going to try to figure out what assets you have, how we're going to build on those assets, what you want to look like in the future when you want to retire, which is approaching it. Isn't that weird, Charles? Now we got to think about retirement. Like, I don't know.
You know,
I'm in the
you know,
industry,
you could have,
and every
you could
time I
have.
think, I'm like, oh, like, well, now I gotta really think about retirement. Like, I feel like, anyways, that's that's
Listen,
another story.
you said it, and
Mhm.
I was hoping you were gonna bypass that for me, but that's okay. Hey, you know, you had to stick me with that, but that's
Mhm.
okay.
But isn't that something that every now and then you're working? Because a lot of people are laser focused working, and then that retirement thing is kind of looming in the air. Like, hey, it's coming, it's
Yes.
coming, it's coming, it's coming. So uh, that's one thing I find myself now. A lot of people say in their 40, 45, 50 range. Now they're really pressed to start doing some real retirement planning and figure out, okay, what what do I want my life to look like in retirement, and how much money am I going to need? Um, another theory that's going around as far as retirement. I'm not sure if you've done a retirement analysis before, but I know in the past it's always these huge numbers like 2 million, 3 million, 4 million. That's what you need to retire. I'm learning now through different books, you may not need as much to retire. Depends on where you want to retire. So if you want to
Mm,
retire in Thailand, you're good. You
yeah.
probably, you probably could, you know, have a couple 100,000. It all depends on where you want to retire to.
And that's the funny thing. It's when do you think about that? And to me, you know, knowledge is power. That we
Mm,
shouldn't be thinking about retirement now. I should have been thinking about it when I first got my job.
yes.
Where to
Yes.
save that money? Like, oh, I got a great job. I'm gonna be here for a couple years. I think this is the base. Okay, start thinking about the retirement from that process, not when only got 5 years left or 10 years left. Oh, I should be thinking about retirement. You could have been
Eh,
saving up. You could have been saving up long time ago.
Charles, you bring up an excellent point. What I'm trying to do now is if I do get a younger client, I want to prepare them for that, get that in their head. I will say a lot of younger clients, they're not really thinking about it, they're thinking about houses. Like,
Yeah,
really speaking, and it makes sense to me, but I also want to put the battery in the back to say, okay, that's great. Just remember retirement's coming, you know,
right.
retirement's coming.
And the thing is, too, when you do get that house and that information, that house you can leverage for your retirement. So, how did you get the house? What did you do to get the house? What did you?
Exactly.
And that's where you come in to say, okay, yeah, get the house, but don't forget you can do A, B, and C with the house and take some of this money, and it's a chain. It follows all the way down,
Hmm.
which we
Hmm.
didn't know growing up. You know what I mean? That there's a follow because if I knew what I knew now, you know, I think I would own half of Brampton right now.
But Charles, the thing is, I find the information for this generation, these kids now,
Hmm.
it's there. Like when we grew up, it was kind of like a hidden secret. We had to go to the library. The library, guys, the library. We have to actually go to the library and look for books. Now it's in the palm of their hand, and they just kind
Right.
of look on an app. And I find the financial literacy, I guess, I don't want to call it a trend, but I
Hmm.
find there's a lot more information out there. Like I find 20, 21-year, 22-year-olds really gearing up to, okay, I need to get a house. I need to get some equity. And it's like,
Yeah.
wow, it's mind blowing to me.
Yes, 100%. I'm on your page 100%. Learning now is easier. You just tell, you know, take up your phone and say, I need investments. I need this. What's the best? And then
Hmm.
all these videos, YouTube, this, that. It's there
Yeah,
to help you.
yeah,
It's there
yeah.
to help you. All right. So, what's the best way to contact you for information? We went to your website. What's the best way to contact you?
You can go to my website, but the best way to contact me is you can give me a call 416-471-3766. That's I usually don't give out my personal cell phone, but it's you, Charles. I'm gonna, I'm gonna give it to you. That's my personal line. My
Get the
office line is 905-840-2222. That's easy to remember. 905-840-2222. That is my office line. But like I said, Charles, you have that personal line to get to me.
There you go. There you
There's,
go.
there's actually one more thing. How much time we have?
Oh man, we're on the easy street now, man. Don't worry about the rush.
Okay,
We want
okay.
to we want to get this information out to the public because it's more important to know the knowledge. So there it is, right there. Okay, give him a call, and he gave you his personal cell phone. I'm not going to put that on the screen. But if you're
Yeah.
listening tentatively and you really want to give him a call, that's the number that you can give him a call at.
There's one thing that I do think I do need to bring up, and it hits home personally. It's funny. Your mom and my mom were pretty close.
Yes.
Do you remember that first time you showed up? The story like me and Charles went to the same high school, and I didn't know that my mom knew his mom. So one day he came and he had a package for my mom. And he showed up in my house. I'm like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "What are you doing here?" We're kind of like, and that's when we realized, oh my gosh, our parents or our mothers are close friends. But just a personal story. I truly, truly believe in this product called critical illness. And critical illness is when you get sick, when you have cancer, you have diabetes, you have heart attack, stroke. It's a lump sum of money that you get in order to get better. So if you were to get diagnosed with, say, for example, cancer, what will happen is you file a claim, the insurance company will give you a lump sum. And there's so many stories that I could share, but I have to share a personal one, and that's my mother. So she had critical illness, and unfortunately, she was diagnosed with leukemia, and it was a struggle. It was tough getting that news. I'm sure there's thousands of people out there watching and know how it is to get that news of a loved one getting cancer, the big C, and the amount of stress that it puts on the whole family, the amount of doctor's appointments that you have to go to. But the good thing about it is she had what is called critical illness. And critical illness gave her a lump sum of cash so that she can kind of relax. She doesn't have to worry about work. She doesn't have to worry about other bills. She doesn't have to worry about things like that because she has this lump sum of cash that she can use for whatever, right? So at the time, she was diagnosed with leukemia, and we filed the claim, and it was pretty quick. She got the money, and me and my financial brain, I'm like, okay, so here's what we're going to do, mom. We're going to take this money, we're going to put it into S&P 500. We're going to I was thinking of all these different investment strategies where she's going to put this money, and I'm like, okay, we're going to make. And she said, Damien, I don't know how long I have to live. I don't know what I'm going to do. I just want to have a good time while I'm on this earth. So instead of investing that money, you know what she did? She took so many different trips. She went on the cruise that she wanted to go to. She wanted to go to Egypt. She wanted to go to Greece. She took so many different trips to ease that pain, So as much as people want to say, okay, well, I don't know about critical illness, I'm telling you, it helped our family so much when she was diagnosed with leukemia. And I'm sure there's hundreds of people out there that are going through the same thing. And I would suggest that everybody, even if it's what is called a rider on side of your insurance policy, which is it's kind of like an attachment to your insurance policy, you can get a critical illness for a relatively cheap price, right? So um, I would say everybody look into that. And you know what? There are some stories that I could share where people didn't pass away and got a lump sum. I have a friend um, and a client who happens to be a lawyer, uh, went through breast cancer treatment, got this lump sum of money, and she ended up opening her own business after because she's still alive and she got this huge $150,000 and it helped her start her own business. So I say that to say, anybody, please look into critical illness. It's so important, especially with the rates of cancer, diabetes. I'm sure everybody knows somebody that had cancer. I'm sure everybody knows somebody that had a stroke, that has diabetes, that these things are happening at a rapid rate. You might as well prepare for it. Get some insurance on yourself.
Yes, definitely, definitely, because it's that time when you don't want to worry, and
You don't
and
want to
I
worry.
and I love that she just went, "Hey, slow down, Dave. I'm going here. I'm doing this. I'm just
It was so classic. I remember that day, like where I was like, I was literally going into my work mode. And I'm like, okay, let me figure this out. Like, I'm like, okay, we could put this here, and we could put this here, and she's just like, no, 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 no. I just want to live, and I'm glad
Yeah.
she did that. You know.
Yes, and it's and then the mind of ease, knowing that you've built it, enjoy it, it's there. This is why we pay for it, and to
Hmm.
see it come back and enjoy, we are so blessed to have that. And yeah, it was a great way to start this friendship. Knocking on your door, going, "I'm here for a package."
And I'm like, what are you doing here? Mhm.
Oh my god! All right, my friend. Before we let you go, and let's have
Mhm.
some more fun.
Now time for victory!
It's now time for pick three. You are going to pick your last three questions before we let you go.
Okay.
So give me three questions, 1 to 13. We've extended it, so we got little extra questions in there.
Well, I'm gonna pick a lucky 7.
7,
I'm going to pick 10
10.
and 3.
All right. Number 7. What is one myth about your industry you want to squash right now?
One myth that life insurance is always expensive.
There you go. I like that one. Hold on. Backtracking now. Got my first job. My parents introduced me to a friend of theirs for insurance. And I was like, insurance? Oh, and they're like, yeah, you, and then like, okay. And they told me I had to pay for it. And I was like, what? I'm paying for it? They're like,
Mm.
yeah. And I'm like, well, how much is it? And there was like, I was like, freaking out. Cause like, I just got a job. They're gonna take all my money at $10 a month. And I was like, oh, okay.
$10. Okay,
Yeah.
I spent that on what? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because when you're young and you're getting insurance when you're young, starting off the bat, parents, look into your kids' insurance. It was like, so that's something that
And to your point, what we do, what I do often is even when a child is born, I encourage them to look into whole life insurance. Like, uh, quick story.
Mhm.
When I first got in the industry, I was introduced to this concept of whole life insurance, permanent insurance with cash inside it. So the cash grows with the policy, and I was so excited that you can use this on your kids. So you can, once you have a kid, you can take out an insurance policy on them. And I went to a Jewish friend and I did this whole presentation on how this can help them. So, you have this insurance policy, this whole life insurance policy, it grows. You're going to have a lump sum of cash inside that insurance policy. You can pull it out for what you want, you can pull it out for education. And I was just going on, and he looked at me like, this is nothing new. Like, in his culture, in his family, as soon as a child is born,
Mhm.
they go and get insurance for them, whole life insurance, because they know that the cash value is going to continuously grow. If
Yes.
they take out that money as a loan, that money is going to continuously grow for them, and their child will have that money later on. So they can do whatever they want with it. They can go to school, they can open a business. And anyways, that was my quick story.
And he's like, "Yeah, oh, okay." But
Basically.
but here's the thing, though. We started off this whole interview with this knowledge is power. When you don't
Mhm.
know what you know, that's why we need to come to you and say, "Hey, give me the secrets. Find out what can we do to get to that next
Mhm.
level." So, absolutely. All right. 10. Name two people, past or present, that you would want to follow for 24 hours. That little shadow on the wall, find out their knowledge, past or present, two people.
Past or present, who would I want to follow? I would want to follow Malcolm X.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, I want to know what he was thinking, all of the pressures he was going to. I remember I was probably 9 or 10 years old when my dad first showed me the old school Malcolm X speeches, and I started to really get on it. So I would want to follow him and find out, okay, what is he going through? What transition is he going, and what kind of stresses he had. Now you said one more. Was it
yeah.
um, who would I want to follow? I will say Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy. That'd be a fun trip. I'd want to know. I'd want to see his come up when he was younger. What happened? And yeah, Eddie Murphy.
All right. Last one. What advice would you give someone to pursue a similar career to yours?
I would say go to school, get as much education as you can because our industry is changing a lot. Before it was one your life insurance exam and you're in. Now they're putting a lot more barriers. So first thing I would say, well, number one is, do you really want to do this? Do you have passion for it? Is this something you want to do? Some people are doing it for the money, and some people are doing it for the passion. I love this, so my passion is there, right? Make sure you're passionate. Get some education and get a mentor. Get a mentor. Get someone that's seasoned that can kind of, pull you through the ropes, show you the ins and outs, show you the ups and downs, what to look out for. I would say those three things.
There you go. Well, listen, my friend, it's been an honor and pleasure to have you on my show. And the knowledge is there. Ladies and gentlemen, if you need anything, you can see, you can hear the passion. He's got the stories to tell you what's going on. Go to his website, give him a call, say, hey, saw you on the show, just need some information, just want to start out. Maybe you're not at that point yet, but he can help you to get to that point. Maybe you need some information and say, hey, we don't know what we want to do. We're just starting off. We're about to get married this year. And then, starting off is right off the bat. There it is. That's what you need to do, is give him a call. All right. Thank you.
All right.
We'll see you next time.
Has come to an end, but the fun doesn't have to stop here. If you have any questions, suggestions, or feedback, head over right now to Twitter and Facebook and like, share, and get involved. Join us next time.
Please be advised that this podcast is meant for educational and informational purposes only and is in no way a replacement for legal or medical advice. The opinions contained within are solely those of the interviewers and interviewees